Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today we're going to take a look at a puzzle that involves the player characters going down a hallway, and there are mirrors on one side of the hall, mirrors on the other side. Now, the neat thing about these is they have illusions on them that make them look like either NPCs or individuals, or they look like little scenes with things moving on the inside. And if the characters take a look and watch them for just enough time, then they will see a piece of the puzzle be revealed. Did I say piece of the puzzle? I mean, this is how we're going to lure them into a trap. Today we're going back to Traps and Treachery Book 1 and taking a look at the Hall of Illusions. Before we get started, just a reminder, if you have not joined our Discord yet, I highly encourage you to do so. Come on over and hang out with me and a lot of cool folks that know a lot about D&D. Also, I have recently updated the tiers and rewards, so please consider supporting us on Patreon. All donations go to support the channel, whether it be through miniatures and terrain for the videos or for future giveaways. So in the Traps and Treachery book, the Hall of Illusions trap is meant to lure the characters in by having mirrors that are actually illusions. Now, this is my 3D rendition of the hallway that's going to have 6 mirrors on this side and 6 mirrors on this side. If I were drawing this out on a dungeon map, I would probably draw it to look more like this. Now, according to the book, our characters would come through this door here, and this first mirror off to the left would be broken. Now, the entire design of the trap is to try to have the characters stare into these mirrored illusions. And the book doesn't really describe what they are. They leave that to the imagination of the dungeon master. So we need to pick what these illusions are, but kind of think almost like Harry Potter, where the paintings come to life. We're going to go with that kind of a thing. So some type of a scene that the characters can watch, or they can actually see things moving. Now, the reason that the book had this mirror broken is because they hid a small bag of gold behind the broken glass. And the Trap's author wants the characters to stare into the mirrors a little bit and then break the glass to see if anything is behind it. And this would culminate into breaking this mirror on this end, which is our trap. But I'm going to change that. Instead of having the characters going through and breaking these mirrors, it didn't make too much sense that this mirror is already broken and there's gold behind it. I don't know, maybe perhaps the door was slammed too loud and it broke the mirror or what have you. But I want to add kind of like a little bit of a puzzle element to it. So I am going to pick 12 different illusions and I'll label them as follows. Okay, so the way that I'm going to set up the Hall of Illusions trap is on the left side of the hallway, I'm going to have places or locations, and on the right side of the hallway, I'm going to have people that match those locations. So in the first mirrored illusion, the characters will see a garden, and over here there's going to be a gardener. On this side, a kitchen, this side, a chef, a classroom, a professor, a shop, a blacksmith, a throne room, a jester, and a dungeon cell with a prisoner on this side. Now keep in mind, all of this is just a huge red herring to lure the characters into our trap. Now, as I continue with describing this to the players, of course, I do want to let them know that this is a mirror-like surface with an illusion on it. Now, if they stared into this garden mirror to watch the scenery and what's going on in here, I would have them roll a perception or investigation check, keeping it a very low DC. And if they do, then the birds are going to come together and they are going to show a symbol that looks like this. The same thing with the kitchen. If the characters are to stare into this mirror with the illusion of the kitchen, I'm going to have the steam from the tea kettle bring out an image that looks like this. So they'll be able to see that in the steam. The same with the classroom. Perhaps as the books are flipping their pages or something along that nature, maybe there is a chalkboard and they will see this written in chalk. For the shop, perhaps in the fire of the furnace, the characters, again, if they spend time looking with perception or investigating, they will see this letter. Now, if the characters are looking into the throne room and pass their skill check, then perhaps they see this letter projected on the ground. Maybe there is sun coming through a window, or perhaps the cords around the drapes come off and form this letter there. And then finally we have this mirror here. So if the characters stare into here and watch the rags that seem to be moving, this is when our trap is sprung, because the rags will fall away and staring right back at them will be a basilisk. Now that the basilisk is revealed, we're going to say that it surprised the characters, and one of them are going to need to make a saving throw, as it will use its petrifying gaze to try to turn one of them to stone. After this surprise round, we're going to roll for initiative, and this mirror is going to break. Either the characters are going to break it themselves, or this basilisk is going to come and jump out of the mirror and approach them in that manner. So our Hall of Illusions traps is actually a monster trap. So after combat, perhaps they are able to go into this room right here. In fact, they might even find a secret door. This is where caretakers are coming in and feeding the basilisk from time to time, but perhaps they also find a key in here and they can use this key to get out this door and continue on. So just a recap on the Hall of Illusions. This is a monster type trap, and we could allow for a DC search if the characters want to search in the area of this trap. Perhaps we'll set this a little high, and if they succeed, maybe there's some glass shards around the base of the mirror. It had probably been broken before, and someone has since reset the trap for new victims. To disable the trap, simply don't look into the illusion. To trigger the trap, looking into the illusion. A saving throw, well, that's going to be per the monster manual for Pathfinder, D&D, whatever you're using, for the basilisk. An effect, petrification from the basilisk's stare, or combat. Location, this could be found in a museum, dungeon, wizard tower, things of that nature. And difficulty, the challenge rating is going to equal to that of a basilisk. If your characters can handle this type of a monster, then they should be able to handle this type of a trap. And the best thing that I like about it is this is a highly customizable encounter. So that is the Hall of Illusions trap, and again, I wanted it to feel like a puzzle until the very last moment when the basilisk is revealed. Now, if you'd like a copy of Traps and Treachery, I will post a link in the description below. It's an absolute must-have for your collection. So with all that being said, what did you think of this trap? Is this something that you would put in your game? And if so, what would you do differently? I'm very interested in see what illusions would you have going down the hallway? Where I use NPCs on one side and scenes on the other, perhaps you could use deities or zodiac symbols or something like that. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to get a discussion going. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and by the way, if there is a trap in an older book, especially AD&D, I want to bring that stuff back to life. But if you know of a trap that you'd like for me to present on this channel, also leave a note below. Thank you very much, and on to the next.